We up and running?
We're running.
You can hear me? You can see me? All right, cool. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Playa Venao show. Sitting next to me is Ben.
How's it going?
My name is Mo, and today we are about as close to the beach as we can get, bearing the wind and being able to do a good broadcast. Behind us is the Surf Factory, and this is a great spot where you can rent boards, take a lesson. My son's taking lessons there. I've taken lessons there. My wife's taken lessons there, and it's a great spot if you want to learn how to surf. Right next to the Surf Factory, right over there, that's Ruben's, and that is a great restaurant and bar to, I don't know, grab a beer.
Yeah, chill out.
Chill out.
Come in after a surf.
Yeah, and it's a tremendous view of the ocean. So, yeah, today we decided to be in Playa Venao on the beach. What do you think, Ben?
I think it's a pretty sweet spot to be sitting today. This is a nice office view, you know?
Yes.
Turn around, look at the waves, see the surfers. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
it's great. But it's definitely a sunscreen kind of day.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can feel summertime in Panama right now. Most of the kids are out of school, correct?
What's today? Monday.
It's
no,
Monday.
They're in school today.
I'm not talking about expat kids. I'm talking about Panamanian kids.
Yeah, Panamanian kids, I think, are out of school.
Yeah, the Panamanian public school system, this is their summer break right now, and I believe they don't go back until March.
Oh, man, yeah,
Is that
I think
about
so.
right?
Yeah.
It's about March.
Yeah.
So it's just been absolutely beautiful down on the beach, and I think about this weekend. What did you do this weekend?
Man, this weekend I was thinking just about that. I was getting my days mixed up. But this weekend we were down at La Barca with my son Honor shooting a music video.
Ah!
Yeah, which was super cool. He wrote a song, so he wanted to do a music video, and it had this really cool vibe down there with the pirate ship and the bar and stuff. So we ended up shooting it there, having a great time. Again, nice office view that day.
Dude, I swear, La Barca and Casa Venao is such a great spot to chill.
Yeah.
Because it has so much shade, and it has places where you can like set your stuff down. You don't have to worry about it. If you need food or beverages, it's right there at La Barca.
Yeah.
And it could definitely be a party or date destination, but it's also just a great family destination.
Yeah, no, it was a fun day, and people were out just sitting on the beach, chilling on the beach, and yeah, I mean, it was awesome visuals. You know, shout out to La Barca. They showed up ready for work, and we said, "Hey, sorry, we're just here shooting a music video." They're like, "Nah, no problem," type thing. So, yeah, man, it was just it was an awesome time. So.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And other than that, I can't remember what we did Sunday. I think we were getting ready for Beth's dad. Beth's dad's in town, so I think we were just kind of cleaning up around the pool and stuff. But yeah, Saturday was a big day doing the video. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And this Sunday, down on the beach, it was a crazy day on Sunday in Playa Venao, and I was in Pedasí for half the day on Sunday, and it was busy. Like, the beach was busy. There was a kite festival here.
Oh, yeah.
On Sunday. There was a kids talent show.
Yeah.
Here on Sunday. You had, I believe there was a motocross race or a motocross tour event that ended here on Sunday. So the beach was just packed on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot going on. We sent out our Playa Venao news crew on Sunday to just interview people and to shoot the beach and whatnot. And I'm excited. We're going to include the Playa Venao news crew, their video, in this broadcast. So you'll see. We'll edit it into the video, and you can kind of see what was going on the beach on Sunday and stuff.
Yeah, and I can't believe I forgot about that. That's what we did Sunday. all your days get mixed up here, you know?
You get a
At
little...
least they do for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sunday was the kids talent show, which was super awesome. Yeah, they had little ballerinas dancing. They had the choir, the kids singing in the choir. They had the Pedesee Gymnastics kids program there doing
Oh my
awesome
gosh.
awesome gymnastics. They had a couple solo guests. Yeah, that was really cool. That was at Wow. They had this awesome little stage right out on the beach, and the whole community showed up, whether you had kids or not. People were there just cheering on the kids.
Oh, that's great.
And man, it was such an awesome vibe. And then yeah, right on the beach, everyone's flying their kites. So the kids are flying kites on the beach. Kids are performing on the beach. You know, the adults are grabbing a drink and this and that. And it was just, I love those community events because everyone comes out, you see everybody, everyone's supporting everybody, which is super cool.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And for those of you to kind of bring us into the vernacular of who we are, the event was at Wow Venao. Wow Venao is on the beach. It's right next to Salina, and it's about a kilometer that way, right on the beach. You can't miss it. So when you come to Playa Venao, when you scout Playa Venao, I highly encourage you to walk the entire beach, visit all the restaurant and bars on the beach, and you will be walking from Salina or the Wow Venao area all the way down to La Barca and Eco Venao, which is that way.
Yeah.
So, and if you need tour guides, Ben and I might be available for that.
There you go.
So,
Show you a good time.
yeah, we'll, you know, we can at least point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And if you get thirsty, we'll tell you where to get a drink or a nice glass of water.
Yeah.
All right. So,
What about you?
this weekend.
Yeah.
It was
What'd
a big.
you get up to?
It was another, you know, big weekend.
So you're at Smiley's watching the football.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Like I like to watch playoff sports. So if there's playoff American football, if there's playoff basketball, playoff baseball, I love the World Cup. Like the
Oh, yeah.
FIFA World Cup is probably my favorite sporting event that comes around every 4 years. But yeah, so on Sunday we went to Smiley's. We watched the Chiefs beat the Ravens. We were pretty surprised that the Chiefs beat
Yeah.
the Ravens. The Ravens were pretty hot. But the Chiefs, they just know how to win the important football games. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, they make some mistakes throughout the year, but when you have the really big important football games, the Chiefs are always there.
Yeah.
And then we watched your Detroit Lions.
I know.
That's your adopted, American adopted football team.
Yeah.
I thought the Lions were going to win.
Man, so did I. I
They
was
looked
super
so
pumped.
good in the beginning.
I know. But you know what? After all the bad years that Lions fans have had over the years, just to see them get that far was awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah, and you know, it just makes you that much more excited for next year. But yeah, it would have been amazing to see them pull off that win.
Yeah.
Get into the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness, that would have been incredible. But it is what it is.
Hey,
So,
there's next year.
There's next year.
There's next year. There's always next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, yeah, Smiley's was a lot of fun on Sunday, and we watched the games there. It was a blast. It really was a blast. And every table in the place was full on Sunday.
Wow,
every
amazing.
table in the place. And it wasn't just football fans. There was a huge family there that, I mean, it was really cool. It was great. And I believe there was a gentleman there, same as last week, that was playing blues during halftime.
Oh, nice.
So he busted out his acoustic guitar and his harmonica, and he was playing blues at halftime. So
Nice.
if you're looking for a spot to watch the Super Bowl this year, they're going to have a great Super Bowl party at Smiley's. Go check it out. They have excellent food there, and it's a fun place to watch a game.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter what team you root for. Everybody's pretty cool.
Everyone's chilling.
Everybody's chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a specific team bar. It's a go enjoy the game kind of bar.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
yeah, check it out. But yeah, it was a really, really good weekend. But man, with summertime here, I'm completely reminded about all the stuff that you kind of need for Panama.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of stuff that you don't need really at all for Panama,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you know, your job essentially is working with kids in
Right.
some sort. I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
everything that you do for work is you're typically
Involves
working with kids,
that's
except
right.
for what we're doing here, and then we even have kids working with us in the broadcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, I travel everywhere with my son, and I got to thinking, what do people really need if they're coming to Panama, if they're visiting Panama? Because on a couple of my trips to Panama, I brought a lot of stuff that I didn't need. And then there were a couple of times when I was out touring Panama that I thought, oh, I really need this, or oh, I really need that. I should always keep one of those in the car, or I should always keep, like, you always need a water bottle.
For sure.
Like, I don't go anywhere without a water bottle.
Yeah.
And I typically go with a steel water bottle. And I always make sure it's full of water. But then if it's empty in my car, no big deal, because I can always get water from a restaurant or a hose.
Yeah.
Or somebody's house. Like, people are very, very generous with water.
Yeah.
So I would say a water bottle is something that
That's pretty crucial.
I don't go anywhere without.
Yeah.
So what's something that you don't go anywhere without?
Oh, man. There's a lot of things that I go places without. That's the
Yes.
thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go anywhere with shoes anymore. We talked about that last
Yeah.
episode. A lot of times I don't need a shirt. You know what I mean?
That's a good point too.
But yeah, I guess if I was thinking about things that I didn't go anywhere without, sunscreen is always in the van. Always in the van. Just because you never know what little adventure you might go on, or you might decide that you're going to go down this trail or spend an extra hour on the beach or whatever. And yeah, the sun can be pretty intense, especially this time of year. So definitely sunscreen, and good sunscreen. We have a couple people on the beach here who make their own sunscreen, and it's like this paste. I'm going to get the name of the company for one of our podcasts, and I'll shout out to it, because we've been using it. My daughter has very sensitive skin to the sun.
Okay.
And just the regular sunscreen, it washes off when they're playing in the waves sometimes, and it sometimes just doesn't do the job. I don't care how strong it is. So we had this new sunscreen, and it's only in a little jar about that big.
Okay.
It almost looks like a lip balm jar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you put it on your face, and it's almost like a clay. And I'll tell you, that stuff, I wore it for that surf trip we did in Guanaco.
Yeah.
And I applied it once in the morning, and at night it was still there. You have to
wow.
like wash it off your face by the end of the day. And I'd say that's the best if you're a surfer, or you're going to be spending more than 3-4 hours in the sun. I would do that, because you know what? Sometimes you forget to reapply, and I'll tell you,
Yes.
man, sunscreen's not cheap either. So
Right.
you know.
Right. We'll include the name of that sunscreen in the show notes for everybody. But my son was the same way. Like when the surfers go out, they always get their shoulders and their backs really good for obvious reasons. The sun's beating down on their backs. But one of the things I didn't know, and I learned this from the surfers in Panama, is they really apply a lot of sunscreen to their face.
Yeah.
Because their face is right on the water, and the sun is reflecting off the water onto their face. And that clay, really thick type sunscreen that you were talking about,
Yeah.
my son uses that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And it works really, really good on your nose, on your cheekbones, on your ears. That's why I keep long hair, is to protect my ears from the sun, because
Yeah.
I don't want to get skin cancer on my ears. I've had some stuff removed there.
Yeah.
But it works really, really well. So I would definitely say don't leave home without sunscreen or a water bottle. Maybe keep shoes in the car.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe keep some shoes in the car in case you have to use the restroom or a public restroom.
That's
but
true.
For the most part, you can get by without shoes.
Absolutely. Like today I'm wearing shoes, also because, certain terrain, like we're in some like picky grass right
Yeah.
now. Like you just never know. So it's good to have them in the car. For sure. That's a good point. And you know what? With the sunscreen too, is I've had to apply it on spots that I just wouldn't apply it to in the summer in Canada, like your lips.
Oh yeah.
Man, I remember the first time I was here, I was all lathered up in sunscreen. I came back, but my lips were burned. I didn't put it on my lips. You got to make sure you put it on your lips. And then you'd think like the back of your calves, right?
Oh yeah.
The first time I'm out surfing, that day, oh my gosh, the back of my
Sure.
calves. So yeah, just you have to overload your thinking on what to apply it to. A
Right.
few more spots.
Yeah. What's something that you brought down that you didn't really use that you thought that you would use?
Man, that's a good question. You know what? I feel like we brought a bunch of like cooking stuff that we don't use a lot. Because I see it in our cabinets. I'm like, I don't know. We just eat so much more simpler here. I don't know.
Right.
Like So I would definitely say like kitchen utensils and things like that. Like we end up bringing so many plates and pots and pans and all this type of stuff. A lot of it which we do use, but a lot of it I feel like we don't put to use as much just because we're just, you're just chopping up a vegetable or a fruit or,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say some kitchen stuff is probably, we didn't need to bring as much
Yeah,
as we
you could
brought,
You could get away with
Yeah.
like a half or the third of what you use in your kitchen in North America. I think.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so. I would say so.
You know
Yeah.
what I brought down that I never use and I thought that I would is my hiking boots. I
Oh,
never
okay.
use my hiking boots, and I brought them down here and I thought, well, there's critters. We go up in the mountains, bing, bang, boom. I'm gonna need hiking boots. Nope, I just hike in flip-flops.
Right.
I'll hike in my sandals. If I'm in a spot that I think that there might be a lot of critters or it's like really wet or muddy, I'll go get some rubber boots
Yeah.
down at one of the stores that the farmers use, and all of the farmers, all the people that work outside, they wear rubber boots because it'll protect you against bites, but it
yeah.
also protects you against all of the mud and the dirt because you're also dealing with, kind of a wet environment, at time. So rubber boots are great for hiking in. And then you just take them off and let your feet breathe a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially during the rainy season here. That's something we brought that we did use a lot.
Yeah.
For our wellies, we call them.
Yeah, right. The wellies.
Yeah.
The Wellingtons.
Yeah, that's what you call wellies.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so stuff that you need. You need water bottle, sunscreen. I like a hat. Like,
Yeah.
I always keep a wide brim hat. I think a hat is super handy, especially if you all have long hair. You want to keep it out of your face.
Yeah.
I think a hat is super handy. I think a backpack.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really go anywhere without a backpack. And part of that's if my car breaks down or if I have to get somewhere quick, I can just grab my backpack and go.
Yeah.
And I have everything. And the nice thing about Panama is if you're in a jam and you need to get a ride from a stranger, they will absolutely pick you up. If you stand on the side of the road and look nice, sometimes you have to hang your thumb out, sometimes you don't. People will just pull up and say, do you need a ride? And that's a common courtesy that the public does.
Yeah.
Because it's so hot out and people look out for one another.
Yeah.
For a safety standpoint.
Yes.
You just have to be very careful when you're standing on the side of the road because the roads are a little bit narrower and it's just good to be mindful in that way. You don't
No,
have
for
the
sure.
same shoulders or the same sidewalks that you would have in Northern California.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we were talking about this a little bit before the podcast, just how the community really helps each other out when they're in a jam here. My father-in-law just arrived yesterday we went and picked him up at Rio Hato Airport, which is awesome because it's only 3 hours as opposed to going all the way to Panama City.
Yes.
But unfortunately, when we picked him up, he's all excited to see us. He grabbed a bag that looked just like his bag. Long story short, wasn't his bag. Found out when he got back, went to unzip it, and it was a bunch of woman clothing. He's like, well, I know I didn't pack that.
right.
But just in that short amount of time, we contacted Christian, who's the owner of the shuttle service there that works with Beach Break. And he said, no problem. I'm going back that way tonight. Give me the bag. I'll bring it back. You contact the girl and we'll get it to her. Long story short, by 7 in the morning, she had her bag. His bag's going to be here this evening. And, here we're going, oh, man, thanks so much. Can we pay you? No, type thing. And this all happened within a short amount of time. And that's it's a perfect example of how people are there for you right away. And even if it's a little bit of a hassle, he had to come get the bag from us. I'm sure he had to, adjust his schedule to make that work. But he did. So shout out to Christian and the Beach Break shuttle crew. You guys are awesome. And I know my father-in-law really appreciates it. So he's not walking around in a dress or something while he's
and to think of the ribbing you could have given your father-in-law. To think of the ribbing you could have given your father-in-law. And that's listen, losing your bag, having your bag not show up is incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And that could ruin a lot of people's vacation. And the fact that Christian was flexible at the Beach Break shuttle, the fact that the other tourist or the other citizen was flexible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kindness at its absolute very best.
For sure.
And we have some stories. Sometime we'll share our stories about how nice the people of Panama are, because we had a situation with Charlie where he lost his wallet in Panama, and his wallet was returned to him 14 days later.
Wow.
With the money in it.
Wow.
And his US ID.
Man,
it was
oh man.
really, really cool. So the kindness here in Panama is very, very alive.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
right on, right on.
Yeah.
So, anything else that you can think of? Do you need high heels in Panama? Do you need wedge shoes in Panama? Like if you're a gal going out on a date, or can you get by with flip-flops and flats?
I mean, there are nice restaurants here where I guess if you wanted to go out for a fancy little dinner, you could wear them, but I wouldn't see you wearing them any other time than that. But you know what? I brought hoodies and sweatpants, thinking, oh, the nights that might get chilly enough where I could wear them. I haven't worn them once.
Right.
And I mean, being Canadian, I had so many hoodies, so
Sure.
many pairs of sweatpants. I'm like, oh, I'll bring like 3 or 4. No, they just take up space. So maybe a couple long sleeve shirts, maybe a hoodie or something.
Right.
But I'll tell you, I don't wear long pants or long shirts very often. Let's put it that way. If at all, I don't think, so.
I would say for the audience, you probably need 1 or 2 long sleeve shirts. And that's in case you get invited to like a wedding or something like that,
Yeah.
or you're in a spot where you want to protect yourself from the sun or the bugs.
Yeah.
That might be kind of nice for that, but you don't need more than 1 or 2.
No.
I don't think I've worn a long sleeve shirt. I think I've maybe worn a long sleeve shirt once since I've been here.
Yeah, I'm probably the same. Probably
And
the same.
So that's not bad. However, what you do need when you come is, if you're going to get in the water, you're going to need a long sleeve
Yes.
rash guard shirt. I would say if you need a long sleeve rash guard shirt, a long sleeve surf shirt,
Yeah, for sure.
even if you don't surf.
Well, first of all, it's going to protect you a lot more than sunscreen will.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, if you're going to be out on the water for that long, there's no amount of sunscreen that's going to be able to, keep you protected for that, especially when the waves are crashing and stuff. So yeah, you see a lot of surfers making sure that they're completely covered up with their rash guards.
Yeah.
Even the short sleeve ones help, a lot more. But yeah, just if you're going to be out there day after day after day type thing, it's a smart thing to have on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not accustomed to the sun.
Yeah.
And here you could get just a couple of hours of great surf, and you don't want to go in after an hour to put your shirt on or to reapply sunscreen. It's better to just have, a long sleeve.
Yeah, and it can ruin your
rash
trip
guard.
real quick if you get that sunburn bad on the first
Oh,
day.
yeah.
This poor guy, I'm out there surfing with Honor the other day, and this ginger guy, just very, very pale skin. You could tell he just did not lather up properly that morning, and by the end of the evening, just lobstered. And I felt so bad for the guy. I'm going, if you're only here for a week, that's going to be a painful week.
It's going to be, he's not going to be able to get in the water for the next 2 days.
Yeah,
So
better to have more, be comfortable than less, for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. Err on the side of caution when dealing with the sun down here.
Yeah.
One of the things I do to combat the sun down here, and this is one of my must-haves for down here, is you gotta have an amazing blender.
Okay,
down here.
yes, for sure.
I brought a Ninja blender down here. You can get a Ninja blender at Price Mart, which is the Costco down here. Do you guys have Costco in Canada?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, we had Costco in North America. Price Mart, I believe, is owned by Costco. So you can
Okay,
get
I didn't know that.
Kirkland products down in Panama. But they have the Ninja blender. It's fantastic. It blends up everything. And I use it because I make smoothies every morning. And I eat a lot of papaya, which is kind of an orange fruit. And it's not orange, I guess it's more of a reddish fruit. I have a lot of papaya in my smoothies. I have a lot of turmeric, like raw turmeric root in my smoothies. And for some reason, I think the color of that food, of those plants, helps protect my skin a lot from the sun.
Wow, yeah.
So just having some foods that feed your skin a little bit, that also seems to help me out.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna move down here, you're gonna want a pretty good blender.
Good blender for sure. Yeah.
And if you're not gonna move down here, just make a friend that has a good blender, and they'll make you smoothies.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So, because the smoothies here are outrageous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I put ginger and turmeric in every single smoothie because it's so readily available in the stores.
Yeah, we're smoothie freaks as well.
Yeah.
Just such a nice thing to have in the morning, midday, late afternoon, any time of the day.
Is there anything that you put in your smoothie that is unique?
You know what? Beth has put avocado in a smoothie before,
I do that too.
and that's super tasty. Yeah. Kale. We've had kale in our smoothies.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's unique, but it was unique to me the first time that Beth put that in. I'm like, all right. But yeah, no, smoothies are the way to go. Smoothies are the way to go.
I've put baby spinach in my smoothies
yeah,
before.
we've done that too as well.
That doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah.
Like you can't even taste that. I vary my smoothies up quite a bit as far as what I put in them.
Yeah.
But what I always put in my smoothies is raw ginger, raw turmeric, papaya, because I have to protect my skin.
Yeah.
And those those ingredients seem to be pretty awesome for that. And then I might do pineapple, I might not.
Right.
Might do strawberries, I might not. Might do blueberries, might not.
Yeah, yeah.
But just anything else, it just all goes in the blender.
But those three things are definitely always in there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and avocados. I also copy Beth there. I always put avocados in, and I do that because of the fats.
Yes.
The fats in avocado, you need that for your fuel throughout the day.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we should probably wrap this up. I'm sure there's other things on the list. I guess we could just go really fast. Anything else that you always need?
Man, I don't, but I should because I'm always squinting is what you're wearing, man. Some good shades. You know, it's a different sun. And
It is.
whether you're driving too and that sun's coming down in your eyes, like yesterday I was driving, I'm like, man, I wish I had some sunglasses. I'm just so bad at, I lose stuff so often. I need to have them like taped onto me or something, you know?
I wear sunglasses all the time, as
Yeah.
you know. Down here, however, I've noticed that there are a lot of people down here that never wear sunglasses.
Yeah.
They never wear sunglasses, and sometimes they never even wear a hat. And I think that's because either A, they don't like wearing sunglasses, or B, they've trained their eyes to become accustomed to it. Because
Could
I think
be.
about all the surfers that I know that never wear sunglasses.
Right.
All of the locals that I know that never wear sunglasses. There is definitely a minimalist vibe down here
Yeah.
with some people, and it really, really works.
Yeah.
Oh, I just lost my hat. And we've seen that minimalist vibe happen more and more. I kind of want to chase my hat down a little bit.
I'll get it for you, Mo.
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think sunglasses are a really good idea. I don't know if they're a priority. Anything else? I don't think that lip balm is a priority, but it could be.
Yeah, you know what? I think there's enough moisture in the air here. You're not really getting the dry, you know, that you do, at least with the dry heat back in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
If your lips get really dry, I noticed that that's a sign of dehydration, and that's when you start pounding water.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, just having a water bottle with you too, just to remind you, you have to keep drinking. Like you just don't realize how much you're perspiring, you know.
Yes.
And especially if you're doing physical activity on top of just being in the sun, you know, surfing and jiu-jitsu and all these things. Wow, man, you probably don't realize how dehydrated you are most days, you know.
I've seen some kids kind of start to hit a brick wall around 5 or 6 in the evening because they've been going hard all day, playing all day. They don't drink enough water. And when I noticed that with Charlie, a lot of water, a lot of fruit juice, and then I'll take some pink Himalayan sea salt, mix that in the water, drink that just to get his electrolytes and salts up and stuff like that. And then he feels better instantly.
I heard that's really good for migraines too.
Yes.
They said, you know what, like if you have some salt underneath your tongue it's supposed to help with migraines.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, definitely stay hydrated. That's something that we did not do enough of when we first came here. And I just started drinking so much more water, and man, my energy levels went right back up and made a huge difference.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So All right. Did we wrap up everything that we need and don't need?
Yeah, like I said, I don't use a lot, so those are definitely probably the few things that I do use and
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Okay, so I think you probably need an extra $20 to $40 in your wallet just for emergencies.
Yeah, for sure.
If possible. I think a backpack's a great idea. Something small, just like a little day bag, water bottle,
Yeah.
a hat. Sunglasses are super handy.
Yeah.
It's nice to have an extra shirt in case you get a little bit sweaty.
That's true. Yeah. Towel.
A towel's handy to have around
Yeah.
because you can make some shade with that if you have to.
And just getting the sand off your feet sometimes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, sand gets everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't necessarily need shoes, but you might want to keep some shoes in your
Yeah.
car or somewhere handy in case you're out in public, you have to use the restroom.
For sure.
But other than that, I mean, there's plenty of places to rinse off. There's plenty of places to hose your feet off.
There's
There's
true.
plenty of places to get water. If you need to get a quick snack, I mean, that's anywhere from $1 to $3 depending on what you want. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
it's-
get bananas and peanuts pretty cheap, and
No, like you said, it's
grab
pretty
and go
convenient
fruit.
on the beach. Like, if
Yeah.
you come down to the beach, you're going to have a place to wash off, rinse off. You're going to have bathrooms. You're going to have places to get snacks, get refreshments. You're going to have some shade if you look hard enough. You
Yeah.
know? Like, you're right. It's pretty convenient on the beach here in Venao to come and have just a great day, just with a few things, just the essentials that you need in order to stay comfortable, keep your skin protected, stay hydrated.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's about.
I think so.
I think we beat that horse.
Yeah, I mean-
enough. So when you come to Panama, bring the right things so you can have a really good time and not get stuck being sunburned the entire time, or not get stuck having heat exhaustion or getting sick.
Heat, and talking about the climate here, you have to improvise sometimes too with laptops and
That's correct.
your phones. Don't leave them out in the sun. I've had that multiple times where I put my phone down on a table and I'm chatting away or something, and then all of a sudden, your phone's disabled for whatever, it's trying to cool down. So electronics, you gotta watch out in the sun and the heat for sure.
I use my hat for that stuff
Yeah.
all of the time.
Yeah.
I hide my electronics in my hat all the time. Even if I'm on the beach and I'm going in the water, I put my electronics underneath my hat. I
Yeah.
anchor my hat down with a rock.
Yeah.
Nobody messes with it. I'm still waiting for a dog to maybe, never mind. But I'm glad that doesn't happen either.
Yeah.
And
But you're right, a good towel, a good t-shirt. Here's our little tiki hut,
Yeah,
makeshift tiki hut for our laptop here.
we're using, this is our laptop shade to keep us working.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's talk about some of the people that we like and support. These are unpaid commercials. So I don't even think the business establishments know that we're giving them these commercials. But these
Probably
are
not.
places that we've used and liked
Yeah.
and enjoy. And that's why we're kind of talking them up. So do you have anybody that you want to promote today?
Yeah, I want to talk about an experience we had when we first came here with Yater with Venao horse riding.
Venao horse riding is the
Venao
name of
horse
the
riding.
business?
I believe that's what they call it. I checked it out on Instagram, and that's what it's called on Instagram. And it's with Yater. That's the gentleman who we went with. Who
Yater
runs-
is the name?
Yater.
Yater.
Jader. But if I'm doing my Spanish correctly, it's pronounced Yater, I believe.
Okay. Cool.
I think I called him Jader probably a few times before I was corrected. But yeah, anyways, my daughter loves horses.
I love horses.
Same. Came to Venao, found out that they had this horse riding tour you could take where you walk with horses on the beach,
Oh, wow.
on the Venao beach. And then it takes you, at least the route we went on, I think there's a few different routes because my daughter and wife loved it so much that they went for a little daughter mother date one night. They did a different route. But the route we took was on the beach, and we went all the way up through the little jungly part that connects to Playita.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we went there, got off the horses, stretched a bit, walked down, saw the Playita beach, dipped, in the water, cooled off, got back on the horse, went through the path that takes you out to the road.
Okay.
And now there's actually a little fonda there that they're building, but it was just a small little fonda. that you stop, and we actually made cane juice, where you get the cane and you put it inside and they crunch it up, and then you get. Yeah, so the whole thing was a cool experience. You weren't just getting the horse riding; you were seeing amazing views. You got to go to this, at the time we hadn't been to Playita yet, so we're like, wow, what beach is this? Playita's a really cool beach, especially for snorkeling and stuff like that. And then then we stopped to have a little munchie at this little fonda where they had this big machine, like you just kind of crank it with your hand, and you put like the sugar cane into it.
It's a press.
Yeah, and
it's a crank press.
Exactly, and it kind of crank pressed it and made some juice for us all. And it was so cool, man. It was just such a cool experience. Definitely romantic if you're just going with your significant other, because I know they do like the sunset one, and they do the morning one as well. And Yater's really easy to work with and communicate with, to pick the time that works best for your schedule. So it was really cool. Yeah, we all enjoyed it. We got lots of pictures, lots of videos, and I would totally do it again.
Really?
And I would recommend it to anybody coming down. I can't quite remember the pricing, but it wasn't expensive.
It was affordable.
It was very affordable, and we all just had such a great time. So I would definitely
awesome.
check out Yater at Venao horse riding for sure.
I've seen the guy on the beach a ton.
Yeah.
And some of the locals around here have said that he's a really good surfer as well.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
But when he just had, like, I want to say, I know he had one baby horse, and that was beautiful, watching that baby horse stay close to the mama and then graze around the beach and stuff like that. And there might be another baby horse running around here, but I know that I've seen the white baby horse that might not be, it's a yearling now, but
so cute when it would chase the mom on the beach.
It was so cute.
They're trying to train it to walk the path, so we just kind of follow mama along.
Yeah.
It's so awesome,
It's
man.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So that's my shout out today, is Yater at Venao horse riding. Super awesome, whether you're going as a couple, whether you're going as a family, whether you're going by yourself and you just want to check out the beach on a horse, definitely recommend it.
So it's Venao horse riding on Instagram.
Yes.
Venao horse riding on Instagram. Or if you're already down on the beach in Venao and you see a gentleman on a horse, please don't be shy.
Yeah.
Feel free to say, perdon, disculpe, excuse me, can I talk to you about the horses? And they will. He's super friendly and will absolutely.
I don't think I've ever seen him not smiling.
Well, listen, you're riding horses on the beach.
Yeah, come on, that's a pretty nice job.
That's a pretty nice job, So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Well, listen, check out Venao horse riding on Instagram, and it comes highly recommended from us.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, coming up today, we are going to interview somebody today. I'm very excited about this interview. It's one of the business owners in town, and this business owner I met right when we first got here because I was very curious about ice baths, polar plunges, and at Casa Venao, the Casa Venao Wellness Center, they do offer ice baths and polar plunges, and I met the owner of that establishment when we first got here. We had so much fun getting to know each other. I said, John, will you please be our first interview for the podcast? And he's like, absolutely. So coming up next, we're gonna take this desk, these chairs, we're gonna head over to Casa Venao. They have a back garden, and we're gonna interview John about the Casa Venao Wellness Center.
Awesome.
And what they're doing over there to help people live to 100 years.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, we're trying to make this part of Panama a blue zone.
For sure.
So we'd
Why
like
not?
to all be at each other's 90th birthdays here.
That would be awesome.
Many moons from now.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be coming up later on today. So I think we're gonna
wrap it up, and we'll meet over there.
Yeah, we'll head on over there for the interview. All right, hey, we are back from break, and welcome to the Playa Venao show. And if the set looks a little bit different, we moved from the beach to our dear friend's business, Casa Venao. The name of the business is Casa Venao, and the owner and leader of the business is John Mittlebach from Casa Venao. So John, say hello to the world.
Greetings. Hello.
Hello from Playa Venao.
Yeah, it's a
Playa Venao.
pleasure
Yeah.
to be here broadcasting to you from the garden.
Yeah, it's great. I
man.
guess we are essentially the center of the world right now.
You know, that's what it feels like in my world more and more.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
special.
No,
It's
this is
pretty
such a cool
special.
spot.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being our first guest on the show. This means a ton to me.
Yeah,
We
brother.
met about a year ago, and when we met, I talked about blue zones a little bit, and I seem to remember you saying, we're going to make this place a documented blue zone because of all of the health and wellness that's going on here. So, why don't you tell the audience, the viewers, how did we first meet?
You appeared out of the ether, brother. We were here, exploring what it means to have a day closed, and as usual, we were here on that day,
Yep.
dropping in with friends and doing an ice bath, and it was one of those moments where someone came up off the street and said, "What's going on here?" And we did another ice bath, and then you appeared.
I did. And I was referred here by my friend Jenny,
Yeah.
our intern's mother. She had done an ice bath at your place. I had never done an ice bath before. In fact, I was kind of ice resistant.
Oh, no way.
I was.
See, I saw you burling up and being like, "What's going on here? I'm in." Shirt halfway off, climbing over the plants.
That
and
sounds
it
more
was
like you.
awesome, man.
Well, yes, I did. It's easier for me to do an ice bath when there's people around because I draw off the energy of it. I'm not so alone in my head, I feel like. And the people that are around me, they remind me to breathe. They remind me to relax. And it makes the ice bath go a million times better.
Dude, it's the truth, and it's been such a joy. We've been able to experience so many people being curious or interested or brought by a friend and doing their first, experience, whether it's an ice bath or anything else we have going on here. And just seeing what it is that lets someone get over that hump to ask the question, to climb over the plants like you did, and say, "What's going on? I'm in."
Yeah.
And, feeling either the other people that are there, or other members of our team or of the community who are present and feel like they can offer something to someone, whether it's just their presence, whether it's some support with breathing. I've seen so many examples where someone just gets that little extra boost and is able to discover something for themselves. So I'm curious, are you able to remember and reflect on what the experience was like for you on that first plunge?
It was absolutely amazing. The first plunge was amazing. And I'm so grateful for that first plunge because I think I've done cold showers at the house before. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. It's significantly more difficult. But when I did the ice plunge or the polar plunge, the ice bath with an instructor, it eliminated some fear. It helped me process the pain a little bit, and I was able to enjoy it that much more. And when I got out of the bath after about 3.5 minutes, I felt utterly amazing. I felt so good. And it's really, it's helped me develop a habit of doing an ice bath just about every day now.
For real?
Yes.
Right
Yes.
on.
Yes. So I'm on day 2 right now of doing an ice bath every day. Before I do ice bath about once a week.
Yeah.
But one of my instructors does an ice bath every single day, and he says you will sleep so much better. The clarity, your production throughout the day is so much more that's what I'm doing now. Is I'm doing an ice bath, a 3-minute and 33-second ice bath every day. Because I just want to be a little bit better than the 3-minute, I want to be just a little bit better than the 3-minute.
Yeah,
So,
man. And when those numbers call to you, and whether the numbers in repetition or whatever
Yeah.
it is, it's so cool to see people find their own flow.
Yeah.
And it's something that we invite with folks. Is like, some people come in and they're first, well, how long am I supposed to be in for? How long can I be in for? These different mind-based questions.
Sure.
Like, when's it gonna work? And the answer is, I think, 2 things. The first is that you have the opportunity to come out of your mind and come into your body. And that's the big thing that I've learned in it, that we tap into the breath.
Yeah.
And we're focusing on the breath. And so, for me, and I expect you felt it too, when you get in for the first time, your mind is like, this is crazy. I'm in discomfort. this is not a good idea.
It's a fight or flight.
Right?
It's a fight or flight mentality.
For sure. And to feel that discomfort in the new situation, and know that you have this tool of being able to focus on the breath. And I know for me, this feeling, and someone described, like when you focus on your breathing, those stories in your mind are going to start to get quieter and eventually go away.
Correct.
And I had no concept of what that even meant. And you get in and it feels like reality. This is uncomfortable. I'm going to fight through. I'm going to try to like resist through this in some way. And that guidance I received about just focusing on the breath and going through that. And then you get to experience. You have the direct experience, which is so much different than hearing it from someone, even if it's someone you trust who just got out of a 5-minute plunge. And what I felt for myself in that is like just to discover the truth of what happens when you trust your body, you trust yourself, and then what's on the other side of it. And for me, I describe it as peace.
Yeah.
And, you know, I went from an experience of not being interested in cold. I had no interest in a cold shower. I had no interest in a cold plunge. I would do a sauna, if anything.
Yes.
And now, you know, for me, seeing the plunge, it's like seeing a friend. And I'm able just to go in, to receive the benefits. Now it's linked with the body of like, no, this is going to be good. And so even that feeling of resistance now is sort of dissipated into this feeling of like, I know that it's good for me. I know that it's good for my body. This practice is helping me. And so I get to continue to work with it.
Yeah.
And it's been so cool to feel different people coming in with different backgrounds from different parts of the world, different ages. That's the beauty of Venao, right? It's this portal from wherever.
Right.
And you never know who's going to walk in the door, who's going to walk up the stairs. And it's one of the most beautiful pieces of this experiment that we've been on for the last year here. Like, what are we here and able to do? The intention was to come in and to find a way to bring our spark into this community that drew us. You know, we came here on an unsuspecting family vacation.
Oh, really?
Almost exactly 2 years ago, I got the iPhone prompt with some photos of our first journey here. It was the end of January 2022.
Okay.
A friend had invited us to come down, and one of those stories that you hear around, I don't know how I got here, but I'm here.
Right.
And the third day we were here, I felt this feeling inside of me that it felt like home.
Ah.
And I didn't really even know what to do with it. It was like, because we'd come from Los Angeles, from the city, you know, it was amidst the pandemia.
Sure.
And we're coming here to a very different place. And so it's just like, is it just different? What's going on? And I remember I was on the dance floor at El Sitio, and I looked over at a new friend we'd made. I was just like, brother, I need to share something with you. Like, what's going on? Maybe I'm just losing it. And he said, well, I'll just tell you this. I felt that feeling when I was here. And what I did is I flew home, packed up the family and the dog, sold everything, and moved here. You know?
My story's very similar to that. So I can completely identify and sympathize with that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's incredible. So to clarify, you were just invited to Playa Venao on a family vacation.
Yeah.
Like you were working, you were living life in LA.
Life in LA, plans in LA, you know, all sorts of plans.
Right.
And like the girls were about 2 years old at the time, and we had this vision of wanting to come into a little more space, a little more nature. We're living in the center of the city in Venice. But what I realize now is like our imagination sometimes is confined by the circumstances. So we were thinking going into the hills of LA was what that would be.
Sure.
And like, okay, well, how is that going to work? Yada, yada. And then we came here and the frame of reference was just shattered and expanded.
Yes.
And, you know, like that I had another conversation with someone who tells me, I came here on a business trip and I still have my suitcase and I didn't leave for 2 years.
Oh my gosh!
And
that's
these,
so incredible.
just these moments of permission, I think that Venao can share with some of us when this, call it a calling. And I think back to my old self being like, what are you talking about? But it's the truth of sort of like a direct experience of this discovery. And I can see it in you guys. Like, and that's, I think, is what's so beautiful here is that so many beings that are here felt this calling to be here.
Absolutely.
And so often what I hear and experience is it's connected to two things. It's connected to nature,
Yes.
Whether it's the water from the surf or the beach or the jungle or the birds. And it's a feeling of wanting to live in community.
Correct.
And this sense of sort of surprise or awe or wonder to discover all of those things in one place that I would have never seen coming. And
Yes.
then it says, like, well, then what do you want to do with that? That's what I feel like Venao says to me sometimes. Okay, you felt this feeling. What do you want to do with it? And what arose in us after we made the plunge,
The plunge. Yeah.
the cold plunge of discomfort, right? The metaphors are rich.
Oh, right.
And coming here and in settling in was just sort of just like to tap in and listen to that question. How can we add something from ourselves that will be a benefit to this community, that will allow us to connect with the community? And then Venao presented it to us. And in this form, we were in this space with a vision with a friend to create what had been sort of an empty space or an available space into a beer garden.
Okay.
And that was Vision 1, you know.
Vision
a
1,
year
beer
ago.
garden.
And we get started with that. And in the process, one day I walked up the stairs and I walked by what had been the pizzeria at the time, and they were gone. And it was open and empty, and I walked in and looked at it, and it reminded me with the bar and the subway tiles of a cafe that we would walk down to in Venice. And it was just like a little spark. It's like, I think this is something that we can work with. And someone said, well, do you want to rent it? Like right now? And that call to immediacy. Right. And I was like, yeah. I don't know what it's going to be, but it feels like a yeah. Let's do it. And I went home and I talked to my partner, Brenna, and she's like, I thought we were coming here to relax and decompress.
Right.
And what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, but it feels right. And I feel like we can go for it. And that feeling I have in Venao, and this is an example of it, of there is space to create.
Yes.
And,
Hence the podcast.
and, you know, and this is an example of it. And it's just like, do you want to do it? And do you have a motivation of something that you want to connect with and have a purpose with and service? And so it unfolded. And just like that, serendipitously, our shipping container had arrived with a bunch of coffee and kitchen equipment that we'd had there, and I was unstacking it on the table in our house, and it looked preposterous. There was way too much. And then I looked in the space, and I just had this vision, like, maybe it would all fit right behind the bar there, just perfectly. And so these little puzzle pieces clicked, and we went for it. And just let it be an unfolding process, you know. This sense of everything, either like from my past, the achiever journey, the perfectionist journey in there, like, could everything be just right before you start? And it's certainly how I felt like in the community of fitness and wellness in Los Angeles, where it's just so much coming alive and so much of a sense of like having everything ready and just in place. And here I was looking around and it's like people are just doing it, what they love, whether it's a surf shop or a cafe or whatever.
And it doesn't have to be perfect.
And no one's asking for it. So then it becomes what's inside of me. Like, can I let that go? Can I shift into just letting a creation unfold, trusting the process,
Sure.
and see what happens? And it has been an amazing and beautiful and unpredictable evolution to where we're sitting right now in this garden. You know, our kids were in here playing and having their first third week of a school experience. And so from, you know, beer garden to kindergarten.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Honestly, call me, I like kindergarten a little bit better than a beer garden. But they both serve a very important role.
You know, and it's just like, let that evolve. Let that evolve. Let the creation evolve. And now what I have felt so strongly in reflecting back on it is that creation is driven by the people and the place. The people on our team who joined, the people who would come into the cafe and share their stories and inspirations, and then it would evolve and grow. And now I look around up there and I see, and out here, how many of the pieces here were created by hand, with love, by members of this community, whether the ranchos that were built, or the bar, or the plants, or the rocks and the gravel here. They're all from here and were, you know, placed here by people who love this space.
Yeah.
And the energy of that is just something, it's a direct experience.
Yeah.
It's real. And it's incredibly inspiring, and I'm so grateful for that, you know, these little moments that we don't put any weight into, or at least I didn't at the time. We just wanted to get out of town and go do something with the family and get a break and go to the beach. And it was, why not Panama?
Yeah.
And then now it's just this feeling of like continuing to ask the question of why are we here? And I think that takes us to right now. And like, why are we here? It's for moments like this. It's for like when someone appears out of the ether here and you meet them and then and it feels good. And I said to myself, like, Terry's going to be someone I know. I don't know how it's going to play out, but this wasn't random and this wasn't accidental. That one day that we chose to be here and someone walked in, and then now a year later, here we are sitting in the garden talking about that and the magic of this place.
And I've made friends at Casa Venao I've made friends with some of your employees, but I've also made friends with complete strangers from London, Wales, Panama. I'm trying to like what other countries. I've met so many people here, and that's what I love about your wellness center is I can come get a cup of artisanal coffee with mushroom supplements in it, or coconut oil, or MCT oil. I can come get a green tea after my polar plunge. It's a community hub, not a place where you just show up to do a polar plunge or get a massage or go through a meditation instruction. Mm-hmm. Were you guys in the wellness industry in Los Angeles, or had that always been a curiosity?
You know, it was at no point a curiosity for me in so long in my life. You know, I moved to Los Angeles as a lawyer, and my life was like hopping in the car, driving downtown, taking an elevator up to the, tallest building I could find. And then one day, I was sitting at brunch with my brother Charlie, or Kashmir, I should say. At the time, he was Charlie, in our old life. And he said, hey, there's this new fitness concept that's coming into LA, and I think it might be fun for you to try. And his background is as an incredible athlete. My background at the time was an incredible Sunday afternoon beer drinker.
Okay, good. Good. I can identify with that.
And he brought me to it. And what it was this high-intensity interval group training experience, 45 minutes of like the most intense stuff you could be doing for 40 seconds on and 20 seconds off. I had no background in any of that. And he brought me to it. And I went through it. I threw up in the middle of it. I laid down on the ground in a pile of my own sweat, being like, what is going on? And woke up the next day, sore than I'd ever been, every muscle hurting. Be like, okay, this was obviously a mistake. And he shows up at my house and he's like, hey, we're going back again today. And I said, no, thank you. He said, get in the car. We're going. I don't care. No one's like tracking your skill set. Go through it again. Come into this process. It's going to get easier. It's going to get more comfortable. Trust me. And we did. And what I remember from that time is that, like, if he would have gone and just said, hey, let's go work out the two of us, or hey, here's this thing, let's give it a shot, I would have done maybe the first round of him, like, it's okay, I'm cool. But being in a group and being in that community provided that inspiration. It provided that little spark to keep going, to see someone else pushing themselves through their discomfort.
Sure.
And then a week later, the shift had occurred where I knew I was going to get through it. It was still going to be everything I could do to do it, but the sense of whether you're going to survive was gone.
Right.
And then a little while later, what happened is that the level of strength, the level of energy rising, and now I'm sensing I have the capacity to give a little bit even more until I can have a vision for how I'm training to improve myself, for not just trying to like get through it and like make it to the next day. And that awoke in me this inspiration into fitness, but also into community fitness or community activities that are good for our well-being.
Sure.
And the next step in it, in the all-in style of life that we've come to live in, is we ended up opening a studio of this concept together. And then we were working on that together. Then I got to feel from the inside even more of that depth of the community experience. Anyone who walked in the door from anywhere in LA, any walk of life, any level of fitness, from like an athlete who's played in college to someone who is really out of shape or really looking to make a change in their body and their energy, and being able to welcome them in and participate in their journey. And that was the hook for me.
I think what you said was so smart right there, because when I look back at my life, and Ben, this may be the same for you, but anytime I had a really difficult time in life and I needed to get through that difficult time, whether it be with learning how to meditate or stopping drinking alcohol or handling a polar plunge, being able to get my body stretched out, by doing it in a group setting, my success rate goes up so much higher. If I say, oh, I'm just going to stretch at home by myself, I never do it.
Yeah.
I never do it. But when I go to a yoga class and I have the help and support of the instructor and the people that are there, I want to keep showing up. And by keeping showing up, that helps me, it helped me get a little bit more limber. It helped me enjoy yoga. Where when I was doing it by myself in my house, I would second guess myself. I'd say, oh, you're being silly. Am I in the right position? Do I even know? And I would focus more on what I was doing wrong than focus on what I was doing right, if that makes sense.
Community is a superpower.
Completely.
It's a superpower. And what I heard from you is so resonant for me is it supports us in showing up. Yeah. Showing up for ourselves. And in doing so, we show up for each other. And that has been such an inspiring part of the journey for me in sort of opening up to what am I here to do in my life? What do I feel the most fulfilled by? What do I feel like I have to offer? And that sense of community is really grounded in where we're at in Casa Venao. And this feeling like I felt at home when I arrived here, it's a really central component of what we open up here is for a place for people to feel at home. Whether they are travelers staying in a hostel, whether they are members of the community, but a place to connect and to feel at home and comfortable and safe to be able to connect, to explore something new. So when you shared, you come and you can have something good to drink, you can have something to eat, but it's that you feel comfortable to be in the space.
Yes.
And then to have human connections. And that is just really what elevates and deepens the experience for me of what we have available to us in life.
Yeah.
And I was reflecting on this, I think, the other day with you. It's like that feeling of space and spaciousness. And then what do we do with that here on the frontier in this little beach town?
Yeah.
And that I feel the opportunity and the reminder to be able to use that space to connect.
Yeah.
Whether I'm walking home and you see a friend on the street and say hello, or sometimes you just stop in for a chat and you end up being there for a couple hours. And then whatever I had in my mind of where I was going to go has just sort of flown away.
Yeah.
And you recognize I was meant to be right here, right now with someone.
Yeah.
And I have those moments all the time at the cafe.
Oh.
And I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Whoever climbs up the stairs and walks in through the door, they can be from anywhere. And it's the opportunity to say, okay, the universe brought us together. Maybe we have something to exchange with each other.
Sure.
Maybe I have the opportunity to listen and hear something. Maybe I have the opportunity to share something that's meaningful to someone else. And it comes with a coffee.
Yeah.
It comes with a time just to sit and relax and lay down and be comfortable. And it's just amazing to see what the universe, I think, provides to us when we take that leap of faith.
Yeah. And you listen, when you do an ice bath, you do take a leap of faith. And an ice bath is so much fun when you're with some friends and some people that have done it before and that can help you through the process. Sure. I could not have done an ice bath if it wasn't for you and some of the people here. It made it so much easier. And now my next goal with an ice bath is when we fly back to Southern Oregon in the wintertime, I want to now do an ice bath in a river or a lake.
Oh, that's a whole other level.
And I want to try it at that level because Here, it's great. You know, you get out of the ice bath and then you're in 80-degree temperature. You can go directly into the sunshine. It feels amazing. And the dopamine hit that you get and the vitamin D that you get from the sun, it feels great. But now I think I'm ready to do the actual jump in a lake, feel it for 3 minutes, and then go find a warm car.
Yeah.
You know, go find a warm car.
Right on, man. And what that's bringing up for me is just like, what's our relationship with adversity? What's our relationship with challenge? Because we are going to face it. It is a reality.
For sure.
And what happens when you go through something, and a cold plunge is an example, right? Of facing that adversity, of getting through it, of discovering that strength and resilience and fortitude inside of ourselves. When you get out of it, that's with you. And it's with you to inspire your journey. And like you're sharing, inspiring your journey to go further. I can do this. I wouldn't have done this in the heat of Panama if it weren't for these prompts. And now that I have, and I've discovered it for myself, I'm going to go do this here. And I'm going to bring it back home. And I'm going to explore deeper and see what I have inside of me.
Yeah. And going back to what you were saying about nature, just the idea of maybe getting in a river or a lake like what my old ancient ancestors did, it just gives me an internal strength that it just brings me inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, it really brings me inspiration. So that's great. So obviously you have we talked a lot about the ice baths. What are some of the other modalities that you have within Casa Venao?
Oh, we have all of our other modalities do not test you with adversity. So that's a fun balance.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing I get to share with people. If someone has hesitation or after they get out of it and say, you want to try another therapy, something that would look like, what are we talking about?
Right. You talk like scorpion therapy, or do I wrestle a boa constrictor? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they're all united around a common theme of empowering, this vessel that we're here with called our body to be able to restore and heal and operate at its highest level. And so that's what, you're describing the benefits from the cold plunge. The other therapies that we have that are based on either light, of your body receiving light, or another therapy of compression therapy, of pressure, all of them are designed to support our body's natural mechanisms, to flush themselves, to detoxify themselves, to improve our circulation. And then when they're used in combination, they all build on each other.
Okay.
So that when you have this feeling of like, I felt good, and now what's it going to feel like if I do this every day? Or if I make this a regular part of my practice? What we like to invite is try these things for yourself. If you want to geek out on the tech of it, we've got links to that, and you can look at it, and there's been a lot of study in this area, in all the areas of our therapies, of the benefits that the body can receive. But it is always so individual to each other, and so to say, like, what feels good for you? Is compression therapy something that you say, like, wow, someone gets out, like, that feels like I just got a hug from my legs, or it feels like I'm walking on air, or it feels like, for the first time, my knee doesn't hurt, or I was able to sleep better last night.
Can I ask this question?
Yeah.
What is, for the audience, I've done the compression therapy once here. I loved it. How would you describe the compression therapy to people at home?
How I would describe it is a pressure that works up incrementally through parts of your body, and it's meant to sort of squeeze you like a tube of toothpaste.
Okay.
And what it's doing, like for the legs, for example, starting at the feet and working its way up, it's helping to push the blood and the lymphatic system and move things up from the lower extremities up through into the core of the body, where then it can move and process and flush through your body's natural detoxifying systems to help you move out whatever might be stuck, to help the body do what it's meant to do. And this is why Venao is such a cool place for that. Because to get here, you have to make a commitment of some kind. You either have to get on a plane and then get in a car or do something, and you're coming here to do what? You're either coming here to surf, or you're coming here to dance, or you're coming here to do something either active or involving your body. And so to be able to receive that kind of support and relief for yourself can feel awesome.
Yeah.
And so really everything that we have, that we offer here, are things that we fell in love with on our journey. So to fly us back to Los Angeles for a second, as we were getting deeper into the journey in the fitness studio, we were meeting other wellness practitioners, or people who had different services. And one of them had a wellness clinic that was based around a lot of these tools. Many of them we were introduced to through our friends. And we started to feel how they felt for us. And red light therapy is a fun example. What red light therapy is, it's a wall that contains lights that emit red light, red LED light, as well as near infrared light. And the cells of our body can absorb it and use it for a variety of things. And the list of potential benefits was so deep. Everything from improving your skin to improving circulation, hormonal balance, sleep. And I looked at it, I looked at the light wall, and I looked at my friend, I'm like, oh, I'm getting Los Angeles right now.
Yeah.
No chance.
Well, Andrew Huberman had talked about red light therapy and discussed all the many substantiated benefits of it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you brought it here is genius.
You got to feel it to believe it, or that's what I've experienced. In order to be able to offer it to someone else and to offer it in community as a benefit, it's got to be something I feel like, for me, that I embody. And that is part of my practice, that I know the benefits of. So instead of just telling you what you might feel, I know from my direct experience what I have felt. And I've been able to hear what other people have felt. So I can tell you technically, or I can tell you sort of anecdotally some of those funny stories of it, and say, feel it for yourself. This is a tool that has been super useful to me, that I continue to use because it helps me feel my best. And you know, I went from that sort of skepticism, but with some trust of like, I'm going to go for it, to feeling this connection. Like, you know, when I'm using the red light therapy, I'm feeling better. And it was almost, what I noticed, it was an absence of anxiety, an absence of lethargy, an absence of things. I just was like, man, I had a really good day again today. And is it the red light, or is it the whatever I'm doing? I don't know, but I know that this way of being and these practices are leading to me feeling better. So I'm going to stick with them.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible.
And you know, and then now we brought them all down here. So what happened when we came on this unsuspecting family vacation and worlds shattered, and the cafe space opened up to us, is we started backpack by backpack and flight by flight to bring things down with us.
Right.
And then we finally brought the final pieces of the puzzle with us in September. And now we've kind of transplanted everything that we had in mind, that we were building toward, opening up a center for this in LA, and thinking, how is it going to go and where is it going to be? And now it's all here.
Yeah.
And the vision that we had of a community space, and you know, in my mind at the time, I was feeling it with my friends and my friends' friends, and what it would be like for us all to feel this way when we were living in our home in Los Angeles. It has just arrived here. And it has arrived through the radiant growth in community of somebody coming in, trying something out, having a moment of trust, feeling safe and open to explore something new, and then feeling that revelation for themselves of, hey, I feel great. And then they come back again, and I brought a friend. And my favorite is the bringing of the reluctant friend, because I was the reluctant friend.
So was I.
You know?
So was I. That's so funny.
And how you brought reluctant friends.
I have. I have. Yeah.
And so we go from the reluctant person on the outside that has that moment of courage, and it's sparked either by like a serendipitous moment or a friend or something. And then when you embody it and you feel this excitement to want to share it out, then it starts to go like this. And what's amazing about being here in Venao is that permeates through our community and through new beings who are arriving all the time, plus anyone who's traveling or who lives here part of the year. They go back to wherever they came from, or they go on with their traveling journey with something meaningful to them that they're then inspired to share.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of like individual sovereignty revolution that I feel inspired by, is like to understand that we have the capacity to create our own reality, and that reality can include health, not as an absence of disease, but as a sense of vibrance, of a sense of improving our energy. And then what do we do with it? I know for me, I take that energy and I get to spend it with my family. I get to spend it in creation. I get to spend it into dreaming into what's our home going to feel like here? How are we going to keep building? And what are we going to build on, and who are we going to do it with? And sometimes that spark comes of something in mind, and then someone walks in the door, and when you have the space to talk with them and connect, they share, oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if this is useful, but I'm a carpenter, and I'm a this, and I'm a that, or I have these skills.
Yeah.
You know, it takes me to a moment one morning where a being walked in the door just as we were opening up. Young man, he was coming in, he was German. He'd come from outside of Munich, and he came in, he said, hey, I'm looking for some work, I'm traveling, I've been walking around, and people are saying, it's kind of the low season. I just wanted to see, I got a drone, maybe you guys want to do some drone work. And I was sort of just in my head, unpacking things for the day, sweeping up. I was like, hey brother, it's all good, have a seat. I don't really have anything of a need for a drone. And then I just sort of stopped myself. Take a moment, go make a cup of coffee, sit down, have a chat with this being who just walked in the door, and come to understand, take this moment to be curious. Remember that that's what it's all about. And he shares this extraordinary journey where he left his house, 24 years old, with a backpack and a passport. No money, no nada, and started walking.
Wow.
And that journey took him through Italy, and he worked somewhere on a farm, and it took him down to crossing the Atlantic in an insane story about no power on a boat, with an outrageous captain, crossing the Atlantic, bopping around, getting on another boat, landing in Cologne, and then
Incredible.
Yeah.
goes into Panama City, lives in a tree in Panama City in a hammock for a couple of days, and then he winds up in Venao. And he starts to share some of what he's got in his skills and his interests. It's like, brother, there is no low season here for any of what you're talking about.
Right, exactly.
You are most welcome. And he's like, do you want to start creating? He's like, well, what do you have in mind? I said, well, downstairs we've got a project going on that we're starting to bring to life. I got a ton of wood. You want to start building some stuff? Here's my first couple projects that I've been thinking about. Let's see what he's like, all right, I'm going to dive in and do it. And this piece here was built by him, and a few of the other pieces there.
Oh, wow.
The door of the bathroom over there. And it turns out he's an incredible craftsman and maker. And you just see he's having so much fun.
I mean, talk about being drawn to Venao.
Yeah.
I know that you were drawn to Venao. I was drawn to Venao, and I don't know. It's just the universe pulling us here.
And I think John's explaining it a really good way too, where it feels like a safe place to experience these things maybe for the first time. There's just something about, I feel like I can be vulnerable here and try this, and you feel that safety. You know what I mean? And I feel that when you see people walk in and out of Casa Venao, it's like you were saying, it's like a home, and you really feel that. It's almost like everyone walking in and out, it's just like they would be walking in and out of their home with that comfort. Really, really amazing to see.
Or like your friend's mom's house. Remember when you were a little kid and there was always that one mom in the neighborhood that you could just go into their house all the time. You're like, hey, how you doing, Mrs. Jones? Get like a glass of water or something, and as long as you didn't make a mess of the carpet or leave a glass anywhere, it just felt really special. And that's how this place feels to me. So bravo for you guys for building it. I mean, bravo.
I appreciate that, and it's so heartwarming to feel these reflections. And I know for sure, this is another of the direct experience, that this is a co-creation together, in community and with the team of beings who have showed up that want to participate in this crazy experiment of what is it like to lean into our passions and lean into a feeling of service and to want to show up for a community and then to receive that back and that reciprocal sense of sharing with each other. Mm-hmm. I came from a world that was very transactional and very linear, and what it gave me was the opportunity to then reflect when I felt something different of what does that feel like? What does it feel like to be in a space where you can share something, whether it's your time or your presence or something to eat or just hearing what somebody might need and then being open and vulnerable to also receive what you need. And instead of I had this feeling for so long of I got to figure it out for myself. And if something's feeling bad, that's on me. And I'm going to put it inside or I'm going to bury it down I'm going to process it later or never. But it's for me to figure out whether it's a sense of shame or guilt or these feelings I've come to identify and be able to speak out loud. But the truth is, for me, like when you can share it out, when you can receive someone else, when I can receive someone else's share and allow me to realize that we're in this together, and that whatever the adversity is going to come through our own individual context of life. But there's so many commonalities, whether someone's coming in here from Munich or from the US or from Canada or from Central or South America or from Israel, from wherever we're all here from. We're all processing, you know, what we've gone through in our lives and trying to discover, I feel like, where is our joy?
Yes. Yes.
And it's waiting on the other side of letting that shit go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel that, you know, at least in North America, a lot of people associate generosity with giving money or giving away assets, food, or, you know, donating some things that they don't use. But for me, when I think about generosity, or the first step of generosity, it's being able to show up to friends and family, being able to show up to a stranger and just having that understanding, being able to listen, being able to have some compassion for whatever situation, or being able to empathize for that situation. For me, that seems like a step of generosity that many people in North America sometimes forget.
You know, when we get busy, what I realize is, what are we sacrificing? What was I sacrificing in my doingness? and a teaching that stuck with me in this is that don't get too busy for bliss. And that's what gets left behind sometime, is the space that we have to connect with another being and to be able to understand and to listen and to be able to reflect out compassion and to feel bliss. And it's all here for us, and it's where are we spending our energy?
Right. Because we have to go shopping at Nordstrom's. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, you're nailing it for me in this like simplicity and the simple life, and it's embodied in so many beings here. Of like, where is the happiness coming from? If you're going out and you're going into the water every day and surfing, and that's where you're finding your bliss and you're finding your connection. There's so many examples of people you see, like, there's nothing else really needed. And it's not a matter of lack or of not having, it's of this simplicity.
Sure.
And I think then that becomes related to another superpower that I've come to discover, which is humility.
Yes.
You know? And that's what allows for us to be vulnerable. It allows for us to listen and hear someone else's experience and trust that maybe they have something to share that's going to crack something open in me, and at the same time them, and we all benefit. And one of the pieces that a friend shared with me when I was here on that first trip, it's like, what does it feel like in a community when everyone has enough and a little more to share?
Ooh.
And that's my inspiration and my prayer into this town and this magic place of Venao that we've all been invited into, is to discover that for each other and ourselves, to support that in each other and ourselves, to feel complete and full and at home and safe, so that we have that little more to share with each other. Because then that starts to stack, and then it gets rich very quickly.
Listen, audience, here's what I want you to do. I want you to come to Playa Venao and do an ice bath with us. It's so much fun. Please come here and do an ice bath with us and feel some of this magic.
And be careful. You never know when an unsuspecting trip can upend your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe bring some extra clothes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, pack that first suitcase with a little, you know, we're having this moment right now.
Yeah.
My partner Brennan's having this moment with beings right now. This family that came to visit, and they've been sailing around and seeking. And I don't know, for myself, I identified as a seeker of like, what's out there? And I was external, I was going from place to place. And at the time, it was just like, I was identified as looking for this vibe. Sure. And I thought I was going to be a globetrotter, here, there, everywhere, like citizen of the world. And then I felt it here. And what's been so cool, they came for 3 days and then extended. Is it starting to sound familiar? And then extended, and then extended, and now the family's gonna all get back together and spend some more time here. And now they are discovering for themselves, like, this is feeling like home. And you get to smile and laugh at another one of those moments, and you get to introduce someone and be like, they're another 3-dayer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, that's how. Listen,
3
the
days
first
to
time.
life.
Yeah, we came down.
3 days and counting.
Yeah. Totally.
Sorry, Mom.
Totally. No, it's true though. Like, you came here on a vacation, you ended up staying. I came here on a vacation, we ended up staying. I mean, it's fascinating to me. It's absolutely fascinating to me. And it's all different walks of life from all these different areas, but yet we're all looking for the same feeling, and I think we're finding it here. And my health has improved tenfold. Absolute tenfold. My son's health has improved tenfold. We have so much more confidence. We have so much more mobility. Our problem-solving skills have gotten so much more effective. There's just, I don't feel the negativity or the depression or the suck seeping in anymore. We're back, and what we were talking about was how much all three of us were really enjoying finding a very simple life. And it's not a life where you're missing anything. It's a life where you can enjoy every single moment, every single meal, every single conversation, every single breath almost, because the air is so ridiculously clean down here that you taste it and you go,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That Mother Nature is providing for us if we slow down. And what I heard in your description of like the absence of these feelings of the suck is ease. I'm discovering ease and what it's like to live an easeful life and to do it with our families. And that's the other thing that hit me when I came here, is how many families had chosen to come here, with their kids from ways of life that were very comfortable, that could have been, from a different paradigm, seemed very successful and, the model. And they upended all of that, whether it's what they do for their way of living or anything, and chose the frontier.
Yeah.
And that they weren't, what I didn't hear people talking about was what was absent. What I heard more and more was talking about what is here, and if there is space to be excited, to celebrate, like, oh, someone just arrived and they're a blank. Heck yeah, we'd love to have that here. It'll make life so much better and richer. And that sense of there's nothing missing. There's just space for more beings to offer in their gifts and discover those gifts for themselves. Yeah. And that one of those is a space where families and children can be not just welcome, but really to feel like this is a place for them.
Yes.
Not that it's kid-friendly, but that kids are beings that we're here to learn from and to play with and discover for myself that sense of play and silliness. And so to feel kids running around back here or running around through the cafe and throwing things in the air sometimes, and just being able to look at someone and either with a look or wherever, be like, it is not just okay, this is the point.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we saw that today. It was beautiful. The kids running
Oh, it
around,
was so
greeting us
great.
at the fence there.
Oh, it was so great. Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun.
What a
when we were
beautiful
set up, we were being grilled by a 6-year-old, and it was awesome. He was like, so what's your name? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah.
Tommy.
Yeah. And I was like, this is great. Like, this kid's face. He was like, can I help you out? Would you like some? And I'm like, oh, this is, and, in the state where we come from, multi-generational friendships aren't super common. I think people are starting to learn about multi-generational friendships, but here in Venao, multi-generational friendships definitely exist. Like, I could have a conversation with your kids, and I could have a conversation with a 90-year-old neighbor, and it's a great conversation.
We have beings who are members of Casa Venao who are from ages 12 to 74.
Wow.
And those beings are interacting with each other on a daily basis. And a traveler, a backpacker, so many beings in their early 20s or teens come through, or people come from different places where I know for myself, intergenerational friendships was uncommon. And if it occurred at all, it was in the context of work. And those were always a little spicy.
Oh, yeah.
For me anyway. And so just to let that be, and to see like what does that atmosphere create for someone. You can share, you can be listened to. So many people have been able to tap into their feelings of being a mother, or a father, or a son, or a daughter, or a grandparent to someone else. And the real special moments that I've had the beauty of being able to bear witness to is when they share, you know what, this was absence in my actual upbringing, in my blood family, for whatever reason, or in my home environment. And now I'm connecting with a part of myself that I didn't even know was lost. I just simply thought it wasn't there.
Right.
And now I have the opportunity to give someone I just met, a 2-minute hug, and to cry it out, at a coffee shop at the end of the world.
Yeah.
And people are gaining wisdom from that.
And sharing wisdom.
Massive wisdom.
Yeah. And transmitting it, whether it's kids who are in this state of unfiltered, of like unprogrammed culturally, whatever we all soak up in the path we went through, to people who are in another phase of life who have seen and gone through it all and been like, look, I've been on this earth for 70 years and I'm here now in this new way of being, going all in on myself and my life. And I have the time and the space to listen and to share with you and to let you know that it's okay. Whatever that message of it's okay is, it's okay for you to try something new. It's okay for you to feel sad. It's okay for you to feel lost. It's okay for you to be in intense grief. It's okay that you went through a challenge in your life that tore you apart. And in fact, not only you're not alone, but that is a commonality, and we get to bring light to that. And in bringing light to that, it gets to be let go and get easeful. And then some of the deepest gifts I've received from people are through their reflection on experiences that I have no frame of reference for. I can't empathize in the sense like, oh yeah, I went through something like that, or the mind just go like, oh yeah, tell your own sort of similar story of I had a bad day once. Like, get to just listen and receive and experience that transmission of wisdom. And it is, I would have never guessed. For the last 3 years, if you would have told me, guess what's going to go on next year? Dude, I would have 0%. Like,
yeah. There's no way.
And, living in LA in a life that I thought was a paradise for me, in that time, and it was in that time, and you would have said, would you let go of your law practice? Would you let go of cars? Would you let go of this and that and still be happy? What if I traded you for like board shorts and a cafe and no business plan? Yeah. I'd be like, you're crazy. That would be me going crazy. And we discover, what I've discovered in the experience is like, no, that's the unknown. Yeah. And the magic is in the unknown, and the discovery and the curiosity. So like, that's what we are so excited to share. It's like, come into a space and be curious. Try something new to drink or to eat that you haven't had before, but it's going to be made by love, I'll tell you that. Yeah. And it's going to be to celebrate this community, whether it's the coffee that's grown here in Panama and roasted by our friend in Petitsi, or it's the fruits and vegetables we get from Javi. But more and more, our mission is to deepen our connection with the growers and the creators and the beings that are here in this magical land of Panama. And to realize it's all here for us. And if it's not and something's missing, we can still order it on Amazon.
Sure. Yeah, everything's available in Panama.
And it's all available. And what does it feel like when we start to create for ourselves? And if that feels better, maybe get curious about what comes next.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great. So how can people get a hold of you? How can people contact you if they're thinking about taking a trip to Playa Venao? They want to learn a little bit more about Casa Venao. Do you want them to just show up at the cafe? Do you guys have a website? What could we leave people with for the next part of their journey.
If anyone hears this and feels the call to say nothing and just walk up those stairs and walk in the door, hell yes.
Oh, excellent.
And if you want to connect with us, or if you're curious to explore, you want to let us know you're coming, or something landed with you completely unrelated to the services we're offering and you want to share, wow, that's the joy in this. And you can reach us through Instagram, which is Casa_Venao, or you can, I guess that's it. Or you can show up. We're pretty analog, but we are connected out there. And when you're here, one of the things people will learn about Venao is it is more full of WhatsApp groups per capita
Oh, for sure.
than I have ever known. And so we have at least one that we can plug you into, and that while you're here, we can share things out. Members of our community, if this reaches you and you're curious and you want to connect, please come. We'll share all the ways we can connect. And what I love is the people who come here and join, for example, the WhatsApp group, and then they leave and they stick around in the chat, you know, just as a way of receiving a little bit of something of connection. Or we maintain, you know, friendships with people that we talk with on the phone or exchange messages with, and you feel how that ripple is growing, and you hear from people in other places what they're doing and what their communities are doing, and we take inspiration from each other. I had a great example of this, of two beings, amazing beings who came and dropped in with us, who were here visiting from Sedona. And we spent the morning together, just sitting in the room, exploring all the therapies, spending time together with some of them, and connecting afterward, and just being able to know them and what they're up to. And that there are other beings that are out there doing this work of sharing, of showing up for themselves and other people, of finding ways to help when people are interested, to heal, to feel complete, to feel whole. And that these are friendships that are going to continue across any boundaries or borders, or whether you see each other again in 6 months or a year. And what's cool with the seasons and right now is that a few friends that we met just as we were opening our doors have returned for the summer season, you know, and they come in and they get to say, like, and give you this reflection of, wow, look at this creation. And it's heartening, and it provides this sense of gratitude for what you're up to and what they're feeling from it. And then they drop right in, like, all right, what's up? What do you got? I'm like, oh, we got some things. Yeah. Let's go for it. Try this and try this. And it's just like friends, and friends that become family are returning to each other by choice. Yeah. By their own choice of what makes them feel their best. And it costs us nothing.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Well, I know, listen, I got to say thank you for opening up Casa Venao. I'm so grateful to you and your team, because had I not stumbled into the ice baths, I don't know that the Playa Venao show would exist. Like, I really attribute your business, Casa Venao, and the team, and to it kind of jump-started my seed, so to speak, to start the Playa Venao show. And I just want to say thank you so much for that. Thank you, because you guys helped heal me. And I was in pretty bad shape before I got to Panama and Playa Venao. So
well, I received that with so much love, and I'm going to offer a quick reflection, which is you healed you.
Oh, thanks.
You healed you. You discovered that. Your spark made you get curious to ask the question. And the universe brought us together. And to see what that's doing and rippling out and radiating into your life, and that it's about service, of celebration of this place, of the beings and the experiences that you love, that is how we generate change for each other and create this reality that we feel is possible and we start to discover for ourselves.
It does feel like world peace could happen, you know, and it feels like it could start here. I gotta give you a hug on the air, man. I'm sorry. I just gotta give you a big hug on the air. Oh, this is so good. Oh.
Yeah. And you know, one piece that just came to me, I want to drop in before we wrap things up or I lose track of it, is anyone who sees this and it inspires you to come and you want to mention that you saw this podcast and this episode, comes with a complimentary cold plunge.
Oh,
So
Super
oh,
cool.
thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
So
Yeah.
please, and let that be the message that when you tune in and you drop in for yourself and you listen to the whole episode,
Yeah, it's a long one. But
sometimes there's a treat at the end of the journey, and it will be our pleasure. And I look forward to the first being who comes in and shares that something from what we've been creating and you've been creating makes an impact on their life, and then we get to see what happens with them.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
So
thank
you hear that, guys? If you're watching the Playa Venao show, you saw the interview, our dear friend is saying, mention the show when you come to Casa Venao, and you get a free ice bath.
And feel welcome to bring a reluctant friend.
Oh, yes. Oh, John, this has been so amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And let
Thank
me just do one final plug in the analog space of where we're at. We're right in the center of town, above the mini market. And so if you come into the center of town and you look around, you can either look for our sign, you can see the stairs, or you can listen for somebody experiencing a cold plunge.
Yes.
And if it's Terry, you'll be able to hear him from down the street.
Absolutely. It's a couple doors down from Super Venao, the grocery store, across the street from Caleo's restaurant. You really can't miss it when you're on the Venao
Main Street?
Main Street.
Main Street.
Yeah, it's
Main
Main
Street.
Street. It's right
Yeah.
on Main Street.
Main Street
So,
Venao.
oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. Thank you so much, John. Wow, just getting to know you on air has been great. I didn't know a lot about this place or you, honestly, before this podcast, and I was just all ears, literally with my headphones on, just so intrigued. So, wow, beautiful.
Thank you, brother, and thank you both. It's been an absolute pleasure. You know, I'm speaking here on behalf of a team of amazing creators, and it is my pleasure to share what we have all cultivated together, what everyone who's come in here has shared with us and inspired with us. And stay tuned and join in, and that's the point. And let's see where we go.
Oh, thank you
Absolutely.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Will you please come on our show again in 90 days? You know?
Absolutely.
Oh, that would be so great.
Time's a fuzzy
Oh,
concept
it
here in
is.
Venao, but
Yeah.
when that's now, you know I'm in.
Yeah, that would be excellent. That would be excellent. And I expect you guys all to be at my 90th and 100th birthday in Venao in the
I'll be there.
far off future.
Maybe so. We're only getting younger.
That's right. That's right. Well, guys, I want to thank John again from Casa Venao. We're going to take a little break, but wow, what an incredible interview. And please, 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 when you're in Pedicee, when you're in Cañas, and when you drift into the middle of Venao, please come check out John and his team at Casa Venao. You're going to have an absolute blast. So now for your Playa Venao news and events for this week. And that wind just came in kind of nice. All right. Hello, wind. You feel pretty good. One thing that's nice about the wind on the beach is it blows all the bugs away.
That's true, too. Yeah,
So
at night.
if you have a nice little breeze, you're not going to have the bugs.
No.
And that's really, really, it's nice.
Yeah.
I like the breeze.
No, for sure.
So for this week, what do we have coming up this week? Well, it's Tuesday, and just about every Tuesday there is.
Well, for us, we always do no-gi jiu-jitsu on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's starting to be even more than that, because now they have the little bambooed in area by the gym with the polar plunge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You were in it this morning.
I was in it this morning.
Yeah. And yeah, I think they're going to have two there, or a sauna too. I think they're going to have a sauna and the polar plunge, but the polar plunge is there right now. But yeah, no-gi jiu-jitsu on Tuesdays. Kids are at 3 to 4. Sometimes they do not fundamentals. That's the fundamentals class. They do the advanced class from 4 to 5, and then adult jiu-jitsu is from 5 to 6.
And you can just show up wearing board shorts.
Board shorts and a
and
t-shirt.
a rash guard, or board shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah, it's pretty lax.
lax.
As far as that goes.
If you have a long hair, you probably need a hair tie.
Yeah, there you go.
That's about it.
Yeah, but yeah, Professor John Boyle does the class, unless he's out of town. But usually he's always one doing the class. And yeah, just can't speak highly enough of it. If you want to start jiu-jitsu, that's probably the best place that I know of or have experienced to start it, and to try it with some awesome people that are going to make you feel good, not make you feel weird or out of place. It's a very comfortable setting and super fun.
I don't like people touching me. I've never been a big hugger. I don't like people touching me. And jiu-jitsu has completely changed me in that. Like, I don't get nervous when I go to jiu-jitsu class anymore. I had pretty bad anxiety when I went to jiu-jitsu class the first month.
Okay.
And now it's completely smoothed me out. I couldn't be happier for it. So, and I like the no-gi class because it's a little bit cooler. When I wear my gi, I sweat more. It's just more comfortable for me when during the no-gi class. So that's pretty good.
Helps with laundry a little bit too.
For sure, for sure. Also, Tuesday night, they have live music tonight at Smiley's. And typically on Tuesdays, I forget this young lady's name, but it's really good. She sings both Panamanian songs, Latin songs, and North American songs. She has a beautiful voice, and it's typically just an acoustic guitar.
Okay,
and
wow.
It's very, very good. And she's at Smiley's from about 7:30 to 9:30 approximately.
Okay.
And the only reason I know that is because I would go there every Tuesday night for dinner after jiu-jitsu because I was too tired to cook.
Right.
So, but that's Tuesday nights.
I'll have to check that out. I love live music.
Yeah, it's good. And then Wednesday, what's going on Wednesday on the beach?
Well, Wednesday again, we have jiu-jitsu, but it's gi jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
So yeah, and if you don't have a kimono, you know what? You can show up and get your kimono right at the gym. They have extras there. But that's what we usually do. We teach the kids 3 to 4, and then there's 4 to 5, and then 5 to 6, and then adults 6 to 7. So.
Yep, 6 to 7 for the adult class.
Exactly.
So if you're a kid that's 120 pounds or heavier, you might want to think about coming to the adult class.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some of our teenagers, some of our groms, our young teenagers that are also in the adult class, and they're a lot of fun to train with too.
Yeah, for sure.
Wednesday night on the beach, there's a lot of spots. I can't say that one spot has a certain event. Oh, Gavilon. Gavilon has salsa night on Wednesday nights. So after jiu-jitsu,
So much fun.
if you want to rinse off in the shower and go to Gavilon?
Yeah, you got it, man.
All right.
You got it.
You go there. You can grab yourself a little dinner and hang out for some great salsa music.
The cool thing about that salsa night too is I didn't know a lick of salsa. If you asked me to do a salsa move, I have no idea. But the cool thing is a few people there do, and they get up and they show the dances. So then everyone together starts doing it together.
Yes.
So you don't have to feel weird like, oh, I don't know salsa, I'm not going to go. Go, definitely go. And there'll be someone there on the dance floor who's showing moves that a few people are doing at the same time. So they just make it a really fun atmosphere, family fun. Whether, again, if you're going with your couple or your friends, it's great. And yeah, awesome food, awesome drinks. Right on the beach.
Yes.
And yeah, beautiful. And usually it's a live band.
And really, too, like, just show up.
Yeah.
Just show up and
Check it out.
have an open mindset, and you will have so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. It is not a cliquey,
Nah.
territorial place at all. If you have a smile on your face and say, hey, how's it going? Hola, ¿cómo estás? You are going to make friends like that.
Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah, there's
So
a pool table there. You can shoot some pool, do some salsa. You don't want to dance, just watch other people dance. And yeah, either way, it's a great time. So.
And if you get bored of the music, walk down the beach.
Yeah.
You'll find another, little place to go to.
Exactly.
And yeah, you'll just have an absolute blast. So that's Wednesday night, Pizza Gavilon and Jiu-Jitsu's at the beach break. Okay, Thursday, I know there's live music at Smiley's in Petitcy. Thursday night's typically a band. And my favorite band that plays at Smiley's is Alegre. They are a Panamanian band. They sometimes play some Tipica music, but they also play some Latin music and some North American music. They're fantastic. I really, really like Alegre at Smiley's. And if they're playing at Smiley's, I will probably be there.
Oh, is that the band that's at the front, the intro and the outro of our podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome, awesome band. Yeah.
Yeah, we've used them in our intro and outro.
Yeah.
And they're great. They're a lot of fun. And you can go and dance there too. Like there's plenty of people that go and dance to that music as well.
Yeah.
What's going on in Venao on Thursdays?
You know what? The thing that we do is always go on the Venao community chat. So that's one thing. If you come here and you're going to be here for a while, you can plug into that, and all of a sudden you'll just have, 15 messages for what's going on that night of what's being served here, what's going on here, because yeah, man, there's so much going on sometimes I can't even keep track, you know, which is really cool. Everyone's really trying to connect with the community in their own special way. So yeah, a lot of the times you can just walk up and down the beach and you hear something and you're like, oh, I'll poke my head in here, see what's going on. Oh, I'll poke my head in here, see what's going on.
Dude, it's crazy. Like people here get together for just random community events.
Yeah.
And if you can, you know, find or fall into one of those events, like a full moon event or like a breathwork session or a yoga session, they're so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And it's so much fun to meet people at those.
Yeah.
Because people are as friendly as you want them to be.
Yes.
If you're an outgoing person, they're going to talk to you. And if you're a little bit introverted, they'll let you be introverted.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's totally cool. It's at your pace.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thursday there's live music at Smiley's. And I would say just walk the beach and you're going to find something or somebody to get to know and have fun.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Fridays are a big day for us because we have Muay Thai in the morning
Yeah.
at 7:30 in the morning on Friday mornings. And then Charlie and I go back to beach break in the evenings to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Guy. So in the morning, 7:30, Muay Thai at beach break. In the evening, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
at beach break. And by dinner time, I am zonked, like zonked out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel amazing.
Yeah, and on Friday, kind of the beach comes alive. Everyone's ready for the weekend. You get a lot of the locals who come down now. They want to, you know, enjoy the beach and enjoy the restaurants and the businesses here. So yeah, the weekends can get lively, which is kind of fun. You see everybody out with their families or their loved ones, just really enjoying. And usually there's so many things going on. You can kind of take your pick of the litter type thing. So
If you're exhausted throughout the day, you can stop, get yourself a good meal at a reasonable price, have a couple beverages. By 8 o'clock, 8:30, you might be powered up and ready to go for a little more dancing.
That's it.
So
yeah.
just because you're tired at 6 doesn't mean you're gonna be tired at 8:30. So remember to hydrate,
Yeah.
remember to eat some good food, and then go feel that music because there's plenty of people that probably want to talk to you or meet you.
For sure.
And it's hella fun.
Yeah, definitely,
So-
definitely.
Okay. Saturday.
Saturday, I'd be checking out like the Wow and the Swell area. Wow,
Selena, they have a
Selena.
DJ at Selena
Yeah,
sometimes.
Selena usually has an awesome DJ playing on the weekends. El Sitio usually has a DJ or some sort of artist or event going on the weekends. Another beautiful spot to eat and look out over the
El
water.
Sitio is
El Sitio, yeah, or El Sitio, yeah.
Okay.
They're the kind of like the middle of the beach with the big lighthouse. You know, if you
okay.
want to know where El Sitio is, look for the lighthouse, which is also an Airbnb, like a short-term rental, which would be awesome to stay
that's
there
cool.
one night. Yeah, but there's a hotel there. There's a restaurant there, and then they have like a little bar with a spot for a DJ to play, and it's a really, really cool place to go hang out and
Yeah.
have some good food and enjoy some music. I think last weekend they had Jenks there, who's a local DJ playing. They had a few other DJs, and then a guy who was ending. He was like the final guy called Tom Clark. That's why I remember it, because Clark and Clark,
Yeah.
who was playing. I didn't end up making it out, but a few of my friends did, and they said they had a fantastic time.
Oh,
So,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And coming soon to El Sitio is what's the big event that's happening in April?
Reactor, actually. I got the cup right here from last year.
Ah.
Reactor Venao. Yeah, so that's a really big event that they put on once a year. It's a week-long event, and they have DJs that come from all around the world that play. A lot of the community gets involved. Lots of wellness. You can do wellness throughout the day, yoga classes. They even have things for kids to do throughout the day. And it's a really, really cool event. It brings in, almost 1,000 people, I think.
Wow.
So it's really cool. Yeah, they do it here on the beach in a few different spots. I know last year they did a couple times at Cuckoo's Nest in Cañas, and yeah, that'll be going on in April.
Okay.
Which is
I
a
hope
really cool
to
event.
interview the
Asaf.
the promoter.
Yes,
and
Asaf.
owner
It's
of
kind
that
of his
event.
vision. Yeah, his
Yeah.
vision. They've been doing it for years, and I would really like to sit down and talk with him and see kind of how that all came to be and how he had this idea, and yeah, just kind of hear his thoughts, because it's a really big event, and there's a lot of people that connect with it. And
So
it'd be really neat.
It's an EDM festival. Is that correct?
Yeah, so a lot of house music with as far as the musicians go, with the DJs. But I know they're involving a lot of wellness this year too. So there's a lot of activities throughout the day. So a lot of the DJing goes on in the evening.
Okay.
You can go and party and enjoy the music, and then throughout the day type thing, there's a bunch of wellness activities that you can plug into as well. So
It's my understanding that event this year is going to be significantly different than what the events were in years past.
yes, I have heard that. Yeah, I think there's like an age limit this year, so I think it's 25 and up. But yeah, I think they're doing things a little bit different this year. That's why it'd be really cool to talk to him and see kind of how they did things in the past years, what they plan on doing this year a bit differently, and just the whole vision for it. Would be really cool to hear about that.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming up on the show in the next couple of weeks, because we definitely want to learn more about that. I've not been here. Well, I've been here for a reactor festival, but I didn't go to it, and I might have. I think last year I was back up north when it was happening, because of some birthday celebrations. So
Oh, yeah.
I look forward to going to reactor this year, and I look forward to really learning a lot more about it and stuff. So that should be pretty good. But I think that is about the show for today. Anything?
I think so. That's what I know is going on this weekend at least. And if you don't, like I said, you can just kind of walk up and down the beach and check it out. And there's always something happening. Always people you can talk to, things you can connect with. So.
Excellent. And if you have any questions about Playa Venao, if you have any questions about what to do throughout the week, don't hesitate. Comment on our YouTube video. Leave the question in the comments of our YouTube video, and we'll answer those questions. So
Yeah, or on the Instagram as well.
oh,
Yeah,
that's another great.
yeah, anywhere where you have a question, you can comment. We'll get back to you for sure.
Excellent.
Or lead you in the direction of someone who does know the answer. So
Totally.
yeah.
Totally. Well, that's great. So, listen, I want to thank John from Casa Venao today. I want to thank Charlie, our camera guy, and my great son. I want to thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Mo.
For showing up to this.
Yeah.
And it was really cool how you surprised me during my ice bath this morning.
Yeah, well-
It made me, you know what? It made the ice bath go a little bit easier for me.
That's what I was hoping for. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
you
was
know, I know
good.
it's hard to focus, so if I can make you take your mind off that cold going through your body, it'll help a bit. So yeah, we'll put that footage on the Instagram too.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah. Or maybe we'll tail it off at the end of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. Please consider coming to Panama. Please consider coming to Playa Venao. Ben's father-in-law did, and he
Yeah.
flew from Toronto right down to Rio Hato, which is a direct flight. And that is something tremendous that Air Canada does.
Yeah,
Going from Toronto directly to Rio Hato, whatever
Yeah.
that airport is.
I don't know if it was Air Canada, but yeah, it was. They come right in there. But yeah, I mean it's perfect. It's only 3 hours away. It only took a day, and now
Yeah.
now he's here in Panama and with his grandkids and us, and yeah.
And once he gets his suitcase, he'll be that much happier.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I swear I brought you guys presents. They're
Yeah.
just not these dresses.
That's right. That's right.
So, all right, guys. Well, listen. Thanks a bunch. Hasta luego. All right.